It's now time for the nationally syndicated radio show that brings nothing but heat. Spitfire, Save the Matches Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Spitfire Save the Matches Radio. I am Sunshine, and with me, as always, is DJ D Boys.
Pump your fist like the old 80s. That's old school.
We have a lot to talk about this evening. I'm sure y'all know Chris Rock has finally dropped his special and given his reply and his thoughts on the slap heard around the world. But before we get to the conversation, we have a treat. We have a special guest with us. We have Maine, the medicine. So we're going to go ahead and bring him into the room with us.
Yes. Welcome.
What's going on, people? What's going on? Hey. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure.
Man, like we said earlier, man, before we came on air, man, I've listened to your music, man, and I want to salute you for showing love to your mom, man, and the way your mom supported you, man, coming up, man. She seemed like she was always your number one fan with this, and you did this album.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, growing up, I built a relationship with my pop later on, but growing up, my mom was a single, parent, you know what I mean? And I was doing music. And I remember one time, like I didn't find out till later, but we did like the manager I had at the time, we had to do a show in Philly. We did like a little 3-city tour, and the money for me to go, my mother had like pawned her jewelry to give me the money to go. You know what I mean? And I didn't find that out until like later on, but she always supported me.
Man. So how'd you get into doing music?
Pretty much like watching my cousins. Like my mom's is the oldest, but all of her siblings had kids before her, so I always watched them. So like my cousins, some of my family is from Queensbridge, so I used to go there for the summers and stuff. So my cousin Sue, shout out to him, he used to like rap with Black Poet and Shan and all of them, you know what I mean? So I always watched him. And then, like me listening to Kane and Rakim and all of them, myself and Run DMC, and then I started getting into it, myself.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in the song, I thought you, I know you mentioned Philly, but I could tell you had a heavy New York influence because in the song Golden, I kept hearing, different New York rappers and references to New York.
Yeah, well, I am from New York. I live in New York. Yeah, okay. I live in PA now for like I've been in PA for like a little over 10 years, but I'm straight from Queens, New York. You know what I mean? So
okay, because I even heard a Stetson reference, and that's rare in modern hip hop. To hear somebody drop something about Stet. So I was like, oh, okay. And then was that just a song about all things golden? I know you were touching on the golden era of hip hop, but you even mentioned Sugar Shane Mosley. So to me, that was like the golden era of boxing. So, for younger people. So what was the motivation behind that song?
I don't know. I was just, writing it and just like, thinking about like I feel like with the golden age, like what made it special is like you had groups like it was cool to love groups like EPMD, Kid and Play, you know what I mean? Fresh Prince.
Not gangster rap.
Yeah, like you could listen to all of that and it was good. It's like now it's like such the same tone, you know what I mean? Like back when I was growing up, you had Digital Underground. It was a guy pretty, a guy rapping his two personas, Humpty Hump and Shock G. You know what I mean? To,
Right.
to the point where you thought he probably really had a twin brother with a big nose. You know what I
A
mean?
lot of people, that
So
was a big thing. Like, is this the same person? And people
Yeah.
still are like in forums arguing about that. Like, no, that
yep.
was somebody else. They didn't sound the same. And there's a guy on YouTube, he like did a diagram of the face and like was circling the jaw. Like, look at the jawline. This isn't the same person. Like, definitely the same guy.
Yep. So it's like that song just kind of came together, and I was just like throwing in like the groups I used to listen to and stuff, and then I put my man Black Magic, who's he live in PA too, but he's from the Bronx. He's pretty much the DJ I go to. You know what I mean? I threw him on the record. You know what I mean? To do the scratches and stuff to give it that that feeling. You know what I mean? So
Authentic.
Yeah.
yeah,
That song is fire, bro. That song is so dope. That was the first song on the album, if I'm correct, right? I believe
Golden,
you.
yes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Off top, you came with it. So I was immediately like, oh, he coming with it with the hip hop right here. This is a hip hop album right here.
yeah.
Man.
Now,
Yeah.
um, Bloodbath. I have questions. That is kind of a that's kind of a scary song for me. And I was listening like, is that fact or is it all fiction? Like, I mean, I know you didn't like go kill people, but like how much of it is real and how much of it is there any truth to it? Or were you just like that had a ghetto boys feel to it? It had a West Craven feel. And I was listening like, oh Lord, this would make a good like scary, like full feature length video.
Well, all right. So how that came about is, so before I dropped the Son of Alice album, me and my man Duds, we did a album called Blood on My Hands, and it's like the whole album is like a story. It's about a guy that's off his meds, and he has like two personalities. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And that song was from that album, but like with the beat and everything, and that song, and they got a lot of people love that record. I was like, I'm gonna just throw it on Son of Alice. You know what I mean? So like, I know it kind of different from everything else, but
It
I
shakes
wanted
it
to
up.
throw yeah, I wanted to throw it in there so people can hear like the storytelling, because like I'm a big fan of like Criminal Minds and all these like
Forensic
kind of
files.
show. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like I wanted to tap into something like that.
So you said that is about a guy who's off his meds. I was just talking the other day about a situation where I was actually at the ER being seen, and this guy he broke free and he had the purple gown on, and he was like covered in dry blood, and he was screaming at me, and he was like, they said I killed my son. They said I killed my son. This is not my son's blood. I didn't kill my son. I didn't kill my son. And right before he got to me, they snatched him back, and I'm like crying, and they're trying to wheel us into a different room. And I said, I'm so sorry. Do y'all believe that he didn't kill his son? And the lady looked at me and said, honey, he doesn't have a son. He was
Wow.
off his meds and he was living. She was like, but whatever he's visualizing in his mind, he believes. And it was actually his blood. So I'm listening to your song like, oh my God. And then when you just explain that it's about a guy who's off his meds,
Yeah.
that's real life for a lot of people.
Well, so some of it too I get from, because my wife's a nurse, like she's an ER nurse, and she
Hmm.
always tell me about like the psych meds that come there. I mean, psych patients that come there off their meds, and matter of fact, one of her coworkers was pregnant, and one of the guys attacked her, and she had lost her baby. You know
Oh,
what I mean? Yeah. So when I have a 4 month old daughter, so like right before my wife left for maternity leave, it's like she wasn't trying to mess with no psych patients and stuff like that unless they was like completely handcuffed and everything else. Like she tried not to get too close to any of them because they could seem normal and then they could just flip just like that. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. That's what he did. Like when he walked through, they had him, but he was just like totally cool. And then when they got down to the end of the hallway, he just broke loose and just took off running. But I felt like it was a little racial because like all of the people of color that they brought through and they had like a purple gown on, they had them like handcuffed. You know,
Well, well,
they were
some
restrained.
well, sometimes they do that to protect to protect the patient, but also to protect the nurses and stuff. Because
Yes.
if yeah, if they don't chain them down, like some of them might not know what they doing at the time, but
Mhm.
they could like really hurt one of the nurses and stuff, and
And
they
this
might
guy
not
wasn't
even realize
restrained.
it. Yeah.
For some reason, they did not have him restrained, and he broke loose. And I mean, he was moving.
So the fact that when you rap about life, you rap about basically you tell a story. Uh, that art form of hip hop doesn't seem to exist no more. How do you feel about that? Like rappers actually telling a story other than rapping about the usual killing or the drug dealer life, which some of that is cool, but you tell a little bit more. You have a whole story. You talk about the hip hop. You talk about a lot of great things. You talked about your mom and how do you feel about hip hop and the storytelling of rap?
Well, I like for me, I feel like you know even the most gangsterous person got to smile and be happy at some point. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So it's like, like for me, I always wear my heart on my sleeve. So like I was on dialysis for 5 years, and then I got a kidney transplant and all
Oh,
that stuff. And
Yeah.
I made a song about that, and like a year later, a kid that I was working with came said, "Oh my God, I heard this song you did," and he was like, "I didn't know you was on dialysis. My dad was on that. He didn't get a kidney on time, and he passed away or whatever. But he, it felt good for him to hear somebody kind of go through what he had to watch his dad go through. You know what I mean? So like,
mm,
if me telling like my true stories, like just like stuff with like me and my wife, or either with my kids and all of that, if that can help somebody else say, "Oh man, that sound like you was talking to me," like that's what I want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, we all do the bravado rap, and you know what I mean. Like, I could talk the rah rah as good as the rest of them, but when it come down to a story, something that people that's gonna stick with people forever. You know what I mean? I try to do that too. I try to mix all of that in my albums.
man.
Music can be a ministry, like, and you never know who's listening. You never know who you'll touch,
Yeah,
and
and
that's very important.
it's therapy for me. Like, like I buried my mom the day before New York got shut down with COVID. You know what I mean? And then what, like a year later, I lost my dad. So it's like, when all that stuff happens, I just go, to the studio and I start writing, and that's my therapy. That's how I get through it.
Yeah. No,
Man,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
That's good that you have that outlet because I don't think people really are keying in on the fact that the pandemic itself was trauma. And
Yeah,
a lot of us are out here with PTSD and don't even know it. We had serious things happen in our lives, and usually there's a time to grieve, there's a time to adjust, there's a time to adapt to this new reality. But everybody was so busy worried about COVID and can we go outside? And are you going to have enough this? And are you going to have enough that? And what's really going on? And then, oh, well, there were so many rumors. Oh, there's another virus. And we have
yeah,
real life things going on in your household. But everybody's so keyed into the news that there's a lot of people grieving that never even got to address their grief properly. So it's
Yeah,
good for you that you had the outlet, because there's a lot of people out here who are really struggling, because you grieve now or you grieve later. It's going to
yeah.
come back. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, you're blessed to have that outlet.
And you know, I lost a couple of family members like due to COVID, and it's like, and I know it's gonna sound silly, but it's like,
Nah.
I don't know if y'all watch like Marvel and Endgame and stuff, and like when
Yeah.
everybody
Definitely.
disappeared, when everybody
The big
it sort of
MCU
felt
movie.
like when the pandemic, like when everything got back to normal, it almost felt like you was expecting them people to come back, because it was like
Yep.
almost so hard to believe that this thing was taking people out like that. You know what I mean? It almost felt like it wasn't real. Like, you know what I mean?
And the normal process that was happening. Like my father passed away, and it's like you have this funeral, but okay, well you got to have masks. Well, you can't have a lot of people in there. And then at one point, people couldn't even have funerals.
My
They
aunt,
had,
my mother's sister, she couldn't get
there was no funerals.
buried. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then pretty much she sat in a truck. Her body sat in the truck for like weeks before they
Yes.
could finally cremate her. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So,
They turned those big trailer cars into basically refrigerator cars to hold
yep,
people. And I'm looking, because it looked, if you watch the news, like it looked apocalyptic,
it
you
did.
know? It looked apocalyptic, and it looked futuristic. It looked like something where you're like, is this really happening?
Yeah,
Like, what is really going on? And like here in Ohio, with the rumors in the beginning, it was like, oh well, black people can't get this. Remember in the very beginning, black
yeah,
people can't get it.
Yeah.
Then we found out quickly that wasn't the case.
yeah.
And
We
then it
found
was
out
like,
quick that we was the first
yeah,
ones
we
going
was the first
down.
ones.
Yeah,
And there
Yeah.
was so many things happening, but just like the natural processes weren't there. Like you had people that couldn't even say goodbye to their loved ones.
yeah.
Nah.
Just they were just gone. So
Nah.
I see what you're saying, because like in Endgame, everybody just disappeared. They
And
just, it
then
was
and
just
then like
just like a
so,
vapor.
yep. And then like my wife is a nurse, so she had to go to work through the whole pandemic. But then
Very dangerous.
it got to the point where people were starting to turn on nurses and anybody that worked at the hospital, like, oh,
Yep.
you guys are spreading it around. Like it was crazy.
There
Yeah.
were there were I've seen pictures of nurses in particular in like you know, New York, and like they had worked for hours, like 20-hour shifts, like only getting a few hours of sleep. And like they would have like deep red marks in their face from
Yep.
wearing the masks for so long. They had been, like it was like cutting into their skin,
And
and
blisters behind the ears
blisters
too from
behind their
the yep,
ears from, yeah, from the
The
mask.
mask.
And then like their hands were cracking and bleeding between all the hand washing and putting on
yep,
those nitrile gloves. And then you're going through all of these physical changes, and not only that, you're witnessing death, constant, constant,
yeah,
constant death. And now people are looking at you and calling you a super spreader, when your job is literally to help people
yep,
and to kind of be an usher to those who aren't going to make it.
yeah.
It was crazy.
And
Yeah.
like, none of us want to see our parents go. And my mom,
Mhm.
she was ill. She got hit with like cancer like in January and died in February. You know what I mean? Like it happened so quick.
Jesus.
Wow.
And you know, part of me, not to say happy, I don't know the right word to say, but I'm kind of glad I was able to bury her before COVID, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because that would have been terrible. And then come to think about it, with all the issues she had with COPD and all of that, she wouldn't have made it through that. You know what I
Right.
Right.
mean?
Right.
Right. And there would have probably been more suffering,
Yep.
and you wouldn't have had the level of closure that you had. So
Let's play a song or two, man. Off of Son of Alice.
Yeah, it was kind of lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Or we can scare the crap out of each other and listen to Bloodbath.
Well, I mean, the whole album is so fire, bro. You got me. You
How
got
about
me
For
in
the
the mood
Love? I like For the Love
for
because we have
love.
that conversation a lot. Like, why are you doing what you do? What is your why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is your reason? And so many, you got a lot of people out here who they just become an overnight rapper and they want to make money. They do not hide the fact, like, I'm doing this for the money.
And
Oh,
you
I'm
know
only
what?
doing this temporary, you
And that,
know.
and after a while, you can see it in their music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they just slinging stuff up against the wall and see what sticks.
yeah.
I think we had a discussion earlier, and maybe and coming from you being an artist, I would love to hear your opinion on this because
hmm
me and Sunshine talked about it. Is it best to just put a bunch of music out? Is it best to do quantity over quality or quantity over quality
And
now?
after you answer the question, I'm going to tell you because we ran into a young guy, and we asked. He worked for Kroger. Bless his heart. His name is Kai. Hi, Kai. And we asked him what he thought, and I want to hear what you say,
What's
and I'll
going
tell
on,
you
man?
what his thought was. This is Doc Beasley.
What's going down?
What's going on, man?
Uh,
So
Good,
so
good,
so
good, good.
what what do you think? Is how do you approach that?
Um, I think as far as that, I'm to my own uh thing. I think I'm kind of like I know people that constantly put out singles and
mm,
everything, but like I feel like if those singles ain't leading up to the Big Bang, which is an album,
mhm,
then you know what I mean. It kind of, I mean, it works for some people because it keeps them hot, but like me, I stick to the traditional way. Once I start leaking songs, that means there's an album right around the corner. You know what I mean? Cause that's in the history of rap, that's your build up. Not even just rap, in music. That's your build up. When you see somebody drop a new song, you know they got a new album coming out. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So
mhm,
that's kind of how I do it. So I kind of stay quiet when I'm in the working process. You know what I mean? So I don't get, distracted. I mean, I'll still share the previous project or whatever, like collabos. I do it, with somebody, like I'll share all of that. But then, when my stuff is ready, that's when I'm ready to hit you with it. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
you know, your hunger for more be,
Right.
right there and ready for you. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to wait 5 6 months for an
Mm,
album because then the way it is now, people will forget about those singles you drop and
mhm.
won't even realize that's part of the same album you're trying to put out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right, right.
I mean, but to each
Um,
his own. Like I know it works different for some people, but that's just how I do it.
Okay.
right,
So
right. Hey, let me ask you, like, how much other or outside music do you listen to in your process of writing for a new album or a new project?
I listen to you'll probably laugh, but for me, I like John Mayer. I listen to some Culture
Okay.
Club. You know what I mean? Like
There you go.
this is stuff I grew. Well, I mean, not. I listen to John Mayer, but like growing up as a kid, you know, at my house it was like anything from Motown, New Edition, Culture Club, all that kind of stuff.
Right, right,
You
right.
know what I mean?
The
Mm,
So like
classics.
you remember those songs, you remember where you was at, you remember, because your parents played them, so they stick with you. You know what I mean? And
mhm,
so sometimes I listen to that stuff, like even when I'm writing to a beat, I'll listen to the beat and then I cut it off and I do most of my writing, you know what I mean, without it. And then I'll go back to the beat and go over the stuff, you know what I mean? So
Okay, okay.
all
I
right.
dig that.
Let's
so
play
I don't.
let's play a song. We you wanted to play wait a minute. I'll make
I
sure.
wanted to play
For,
For the
for the
Love, but
love.
I wanted to mention what the young man at the store said.
Oh yeah. Of
Well,
course.
he said if he was just starting out doing music, he said he would just put out a bunch of stuff. He said he wouldn't check the quality or anything. He would just keep putting music out because he said that would like put him on people's mind and kind of like get his name out there. Then he would fine tune his product after the fact.
No,
But
but
I feel
if
like
you
you should.
yeah, if your quality ain't good, people ain't gonna be checking for the
Right.
next
Because
songs. You know what I mean?
Right,
you'll be
right. That could
known for
actually
putting
hurt
out
you.
crappy music. Yeah, they'll know your name, but you'll be known as the guy with sound in the background, or you'll be known as the guy with fuzzy speakers, or
Or
with
your
the high
vocals
pitched
are
beat,
low and all
or the
that kind.
bad
Yeah.
vocals. You
Hmm.
know,
Right.
hey Jennifer.
And no, I
So
mean,
I
and
I thought
don't get me
like,
wrong, like that could help because I mean, it worked for what I'm saying, no Master P and No Limit. But at the end of
right.
the day, Beats by the Pound was putting out crazy work.
Because it's like that theory of like throw it up against the wall, see what sticks. And like nowadays, the stuff that these kids listen to, like, I'm not dissing their music because I know back when we were listening to rap, people thought rap would never last, and here we are 50 years later. But it is like it sounds like a mistake. Some of this stuff, it sounds like static to me, to my ears.
Yeah.
So I agree that young people could get away with that because they like a lot of different stuff that just does not appeal to our ears.
And
Mm.
I don't want to feel like I'm being biased because like everybody like the new generation feel like their music is better, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
no matter who you pick in the golden era from Will Smith to like whoever, you can understand what they were saying, even if they was
Yes.
whack. The
They were
stuff
Yes.
now,
articulate.
I don't understand it. Like the beat may be hot, but then yeah, like you know what I mean. Like
It
there's some stuff I can hear, and I'm like, all right, I hear what he's saying, but some stuff
but it
I
doesn't
don't
make
even know what's
sense.
being said.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. Like they'll be like, pick something, and you'll hear pickle, something, battery charger. Like just, and I'm like, wait a minute, how are these things
He
connected?
throwing
Like
out
the
whatever.
Hey,
songs are crazy
He's
to me.
throwing out that junk out there. So they ain't
And then you'll hear about 5, 10 artists come out after that sound just like that person.
The
You know what I
same
same
mean?
style,
cadence.
yeah.
There's
I
like
mean, but
there's like a
your man
common
ODB said,
cadence.
it ain't about the song, it ain't about the words, it's about the music.
Well, see, that it's not music to me. It sounds like the stuff that I fall asleep to, like beta waves and alpha waves. It sounds like a track or a chant or something, and that's a lot of it. I won't listen to it if it
A
starts
lot of
sounding
it is.
too chanty to me. I'm like, nope, because I don't know even know if you know what this is that's playing, and I definitely can't understand the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like you could take the most parochial rapper from the 80s or 90s and you still can understand what they were saying.
And
Like
then
to
like
me, I'm a
Right,
lyric
right.
person. I need to understand
yeah.
the words.
And I mean, even for me, like I can curse with the best of them, right? But like sometimes it got to be with a purpose. I heard a
Right.
record the other day. The guy was just like, "Yeah, fuck that bitch." Yeah. And it's like that's what it was
No
more of that.
reason.
I didn't even hear like what the verse was saying, but that's all. You know what I mean? And I heard this record like 3 times in like 2 hours on the same station.
yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then I'll think of something else and like, why they don't play that, but they playing this. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Even
that's
when you
crazy
listen to
though.
Sirius Satellite, it's like we're paying for this. What is happening? Like
Yeah.
why is this happening?
I
I
got
feel
some
like they're
people.
mad at us.
I got some people on Twitter, but I'm gonna play a song first for the love, and then
Let's do it.
I have their question in a second. All right, y'all, let's go for the love.
Maine and Gatsby. You know the shit. Some hip hop shit, you feel me? Hip hop gave me life. I've been a part of the culture since I was 5. Was a long time. My cousin used to battle outside. Friday night, Queensbridge shit was live. Rest in peace to my mother, she kept me fly. Shell toes with a leather bomb, I was 9. Got my boombox when I was 10, rockin' Run DMC and Fat Boys over again. Freestyling to the beats with my friends. Back when we did it for the love, now it's just a trend. A money grab, they just want the bag. I want respect for my fans and the strength of my craft. That's what I want. That cool shit LL had. Confidence, that Big Daddy Kane swag. That made me wanna pick up a pen and pad and go hard with the gift of gab. I do this for the love, this is what I do. I'm from the golden era, so I stay true. Check niggas on the mic, 1, 2, 1, 2. Time to eat, I.M.F chef back in the stew. I do this for the love, this is what I do. I'm from the golden era, so I stay true. Check niggas on the mic, 1, 2, 1, 2. Time to eat, I.M.F chef back in the stew. Rest in peace to Biz. He taught us all what the vapors is. Diabolical with creativeness. Man, picking boogers my shit. He turned picking boogers into a hit. That's one of the greatest icons. We can't forget. Never. All the legends we lost. Salute. Man, damn God, come on, man. My soul is still sore. It's sore. Devastation across the board. DMX, Black Rob, that hit hard. That hit. Shock G, Prince Marky D, Fat Boys, Gift the Gab, Ecstasy, Houdini, Fred the Godson, rest in peace. Raise the levels of the bone for my nigga Doom. M.F. Mom and Dad, I'ma see you soon. I love ya. I do this for the love, this is what I do. I'm from the golden era, so I stay true. Check niggas on the mic, 1, 2, 1, 2. Time to eat, I.M.F chef back in the stew. I do this for the love, this is what I do. I'm from the golden era, so I stay true. Check niggas on the mic, 1, 2, 1, 2. Time to eat, I.M.F chef back in the stew.
I would
Spit
like the mic
fire.
check 1, 2, 1, 2.
Sending that
1, 2,
shout out
1,
to the
2.
legends. Putting shouts out to the legends.
Yeah, I definitely love that part of the game.
Sure.
And
Uh,
you gave a super shout out to my man's Doom. Like that was fire to me. Like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
dope.
Well, I've been a fan of Doom since he was Peach Fuzz and KMD. You know what I mean? So
AMD,
yeah, yeah. Rest
yeah.
in
A lot of cats don't even know all of that about family. So yeah, that's
nah,
dope.
they don't.
That's huge.
So
Let me ask. Oh, go ahead.
Twitter sent a message. Where would you love to travel to perform, or are you afraid to travel outside the country if you do?
Nah, I'm not afraid to travel out the country. I would love like only traveling out the country for music I ever did was like go to Canada. Like I did a few tours in Canada, but I would love to go to like Europe and Japan and all of that. Oh man, like man, it looks amazing to do all that stuff.
What was it like in Canada? Because the times that I've been to Canada, one thing I noticed about them is they are like extremely polite and they're extremely orderly. Now, this is in the 90s when I did my traveling, and it may have changed since then, but even their children were super orderly. Like our kids fly all over the place, they eat a bunch of sweets and stuff. They are not like that in Canada.
Well,
So
I
how'd
don't
you like it?
for me when I go there, sometimes like I feel like I'm somewhere in the States until like you look at the license plates or you look
Mhm.
at like, a number on
Hmm.
the store, you know what I mean? And even well some of the people have like a French kind of accent or whatever, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's cool down there. Like my man Suspect from down there, me and him did a album called The Last, you know what I mean? And every time I go down there, me and him link up and it's always a good time. Like I even go down there with my family, like
It
not even
it's
on the music stuff. We just go down there
just a
sometime
visit.
for vacation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild because when I went, like I know they've had a couple of racial incidents there, but nothing like here. And I
Yeah.
remember it was like we stayed at the Falls View Hotel, and we were walking around at 2:30 in the morning, and like we see the cops, and my knee jerk is when I see a cop and it's that early, and I'm thinking, oh man, I hope he don't mess with us. I'm like automatically bracing. He's like, how y'all doing this morning? Where y'all going? Y'all going to get something to eat? Cause they eat all around the clock there, and he was so sweet. And I
Yeah.
was just like, when we got back to the hotel, I said, you know what? This must be what it feels like to be white.
Mm.
Like honestly, because there was no after that we had no fear of the police there. We were just chill, and everybody just walked around and everybody was just cool. And we talked to a guy in the store. It's called the Body Shop, and he said that people there treat each other differently because they understand that they're all immigrants. The majority of the people that are there came from somewhere
Mm,
else, and everybody
Yeah.
that was in that store working,
yeah.
you had people from Kenya, people from Poland, Russia, there was a girl from Korea.
Jamaica.
They all migrated there to
Mhm.
to live a different life. And he's like, so we don't have the same. He's like, excuse me, level of entitlement that Americans have. He said because we know and honor the fact that we're immigrants and we're just all trying to make it here. But in America,
Yeah.
everybody feels like they have a right to something, and he's like, and they really don't because it's stolen land. And I was like, well, this is deep, but it explained
Yeah.
a lot. It really did. They were just cool.
Yeah.
Yo, 32 years in the game, bro. How does that feel, bro? Is that
Yeah,
does
that's
it seem
huge.
like it? Does it seem like it's been
I
32 years?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just remember how long, I've been doing it. I remember like we used to take like two radios, and I used to take my mother's church tapes and put tissue in the hole and tape them up, and we would play like a break beat,
Facts.
like an instrumental or something, and let that play and rap into the other radio and hit record. You know what I mean? Like it just came a long way. Like like now you can go to the studio in 5 hours and knock out like 5, 6 songs. Back in the days when you went to them big studios, in
Mm.
5 hours you'd only get like one record done. You know what I mean? Like,
Messing
you
with that
know,
dat
The dat,
machine.
yep, the
yep,
dat was
Oh my
the
god.
that the real.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm sure the engineers is bullshitting a little bit to kind of
Get money.
drain you out a little bit of money, but
Facts.
Wow, man. And you've been in multiple groups. Is that what I've read correctly? You've been in multiple groups in your career coming up.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
When like first started, it was I was in a group called Third Rail with my man True and Prince. Like I'm still cool with them now, but they don't even do the music no more. You know
Uh,
what I mean? And then my other group, I.M.F, like we still tight. All of us still do our own thing. Like my man Will Sully, he just put out a project where I don't know if y'all remember Ali Vegas.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he just put the project out, and then my man Legion, he's the one. He does a lot of my, still does a lot of my beats and stuff. He's on the album, the song called Pain. He's on there with me. You know what I mean? So like with us, we like a family. Like we still do stuff and do features on each other's project. You know what I mean? So
wow,
and
man.
then like
Okay, yeah, that's dope.
my group now. Mercy Gang, we lost one of our members like back in 14, but us like we rock and we rock with the band sometimes. So like what I mean. We do a lot of shows with the band and stuff. So it's cool. Like
that's what's
that's
up.
like
Okay, you're
when I
doing the
rock with
live
the
music
group, it's
then.
like a different element than when I do my solo stuff. You know what I mean? So you know. But that's music. As an artist, you're supposed to be able to grow and do different stuff.
Mhm.
Listen, if it's your idea and it's something you want to do, it's nothing wrong with trying something new. Now, if you're trying something new, thinking that it's gonna make you millions and all that, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. If you're doing it because it's something you want to do and always say, "Yo, I want to rock with a band," then so be it. You know what I mean? Go ahead and do it.
Right, right, right.
Mm. In other
Now,
words, be yourself. And
Yep.
if you're not, people will see through you not being you immediately.
Yep.
Right, authentic,
Definitely.
genuine and authentic.
Not only that, you'll enjoy yourself more because you have a lot of people out here who are putting unnecessary pressure on themselves because they want to get rich. And instead of just enjoying the moment, and I mean, if you enjoy what you're doing, that's your payment right there. The
Yep.
joy of what you're doing. And you never know that just being at ease and vibrating high, that will draw the money towards you. That will draw the right things into your space. But when you're in a space of stress, and you're doing something with this goal in mind of I need to be rich, I need to make money. Now you're stressed. Now you're
Yeah.
Hmm.
miserable. Now your product's gonna suck because you can't do anything well when you're stressed. So it's just the wrong reason to do it. Just do it. Like I always, I say, you do something, call it a hobby. I'm doing this. This is my hobby. This is why I like to do this. I enjoy this thing. And if it turns into something else, then great. You got people
Yep.
who develop things into a career. Some most
Right,
people who
right.
start with music, they start tinkering. I'm just doing this for fun. Then it becomes more
Mm.
serious as they develop more. But the
Yep.
main thing is to me is like enjoy what you do. Be happy. If it's something that's not making you happy, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
You preferred, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know you like the solo limelight and whatnot, but which one do you prefer? Like, do you prefer the live music being in front of the band, or do you prefer to cue it up, play the track, let's get it?
Oh man, it's hard to say because like with the band, it's like a crazy energy. Like especially hit certain songs don't hit good when you just tell the DJ to play it. You know what I mean? Certain
Mhm.
songs
Right.
hit with them drums and all of that in the back. You know what I mean? And then like when you're doing a regular hip hop show, you know what I mean, with the DJ and those records, it's both of them are a great feel. Both of them give you that adrenaline rush. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'll probably go with the DJ because that's like that's
The essence.
classic me by myself. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Right, right,
But
right. Word.
I love with the band too because like one of my favorite groups is the Roots. You know what I mean? And that's what
Okay.
always made them different. So
Facts, facts. Did you are you familiar with? I mean, I know you're probably familiar with Little Brother.
oh
You familiar with
hell yeah,
Yeah, Fontaine when his
Tigolo
transition
Tigolo
to
Tigolo.
foreign exchange and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing
Actually, on uh uh, I had did a record off of one of the foreign exchange joints because they had did a with one of their albums they had like a instrumental that came with it, and I had
right.
rocked over a few of those joints. But I love Big Brother. I mean Little Brother, especially when they got back together a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? That
Yes,
was
sir.
dope.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that's what's
They
up.
dope. They dope. Shout out. They from North Carolina too, all of them, right? I
Yeah,
believe so.
Yeah.
yep.
It's
Take
ninth. Yeah.
yeah, take a little pull with knife.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Rhapsody and all. Yep.
Yeah. Salute. Salute. Knife
Oh, you
wonder and
actually
all them.
forgetting Rhapsody from there. You right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
Carolinas
forgetting
is
that.
beast, boy.
Yeah.
And J Cole, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
Sure.
J. Cole. Yeah. Wow. We
J.
gonna say
Cole,
Facts.
Petey. We ain't gonna give Petey no love, man.
Oh, you can't
is
forget
he
about
oh,
Petey
throw your
hold on.
hands
Pablo?
up.
I got a story about Petey Pablo, right?
Uh-oh.
So I, I used to rock with this guy named All Star. Like he did a lot of Joe the singer. He did a lot of his production. He
Mm.
did
Mm,
SWV. He's from the he's under the Teddy Riley tree. So like him and
Right,
Pharrell
right.
came up around the same time under Teddy Riley. You know what I
mm.
mean? So like he produced remember the SWV with Wu Tang?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
right
yeah.
here, yeah. So he did that. So I was rocking with him for a while, and he was doing Joe's album, and there was a record, the Let's Stay Home Tonight. They were supposed to do a remix
Mm-hmm.
with Mystical and Petey Pablo because they was all on Jive Records. So Mystical couldn't make it. So it was the hopes that I could probably jump on there, you know what I mean? So I remember we in the studio, it was some studio in Manhattan, and I'm in the room with PD. PD album didn't come out yet. He just had the North Carolina buzz joint going. So it's just me and him in this room, right? And I'm going over what I'm writing. He going over what he writing. I don't know if he was like hearing what I was saying and was like, I don't want no unknown dude outshine. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So the next thing you know, he called his man in, and then his man went to my man All Star, and then they called me out, and he was like, "Yo, PD want to be on the record by himself." You know what I mean? So so I I love, you know what I mean? Because I was like, yo, I'm about to be on this joint with PD Pablo. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
That's that crabs in a barrel mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to hear
That's
that. Right
sad.
there. That could have been major.
So how's he doing now?
Huh?
How's PD Pablo doing now?
I mean, listen, he's still doing better than me. So you know what I mean? I ain't gonna hate on him. Like he
I haven't heard anything about him.
I don't know. Last time I saw him was when he was on oh my God, what's that show with Empire? That was it. That's the last time I really saw him.
He was on Empire?
Yeah.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, he was like in jail. He was like one of Terrence Howard goons in jail or something like that,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was in a couple of episodes, you know what I mean?
Really?
So,
look, that show started wearing me out. They was doing that whole 6 weeks later, 3 weeks before, 2 days after, and I was just like, say what now? I couldn't keep up. And then when they had Terrence Howard in that daggone wig, I said, you know what? Y'all are playing with us. Y'all are playing with us. Y'all look like y'all hired Tyler Perry's people, and I know y'all have better available.
Yeah,
I was done.
Not Tyler people. You talking about Tyler like that?
Those wigs.
Can we bless him with golden, man? Because that record right there, bro, is golden. It is.
Oh man, definitely, man. Shout out to my man Black Magic on the scratches, and my man Gatsby that did the beat. So.
Okay.
Salute the DJ. For sure. All right.
For sure.
Son of Alice. Maine and medicine.
Make sure you're in the mix with DJ Gatsby. Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight. Turn my headphones up.
I'm from that hit squad era. Native tongue, Nas, Biggie, Wu-Tang forever. I.M.F, Legion, Sully, and Vendetta. Maine and medicine, Chief Rocker, the mic checker. Bow. 1 2 1 2. I've been ripping these dudes since Chip Fool was live smooth. Rest in peace. Bugging out, talking all that jazz, nigga. We nice. Shut him down, snatch the mic. You verse Maine is suicide. I specialize in bar fights. The flow, this that hard white. Have you sitting on the midnight train listening to Gladys Knight? Thinking, why did I fuck with Maine? The punchlines hit harder than Sugar Shane. Chefing up with the method just like rain. Maine and Gatsby came to bring the pain.
Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight.
Son of Alice.
Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight. Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight. Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight.
Maine and medicine, talk that shit. I remain golden. My 90s mentality got me killing the moment, trying to fix what is broken. I gotta stay focused, sharpshooter with the bars. I'm picking off my opponents. Survival of the fittest, prodigy of the omen. I'm infamous, I cause havoc, old man Logan. I'm the last of a dying breed. These corny rappers dying to get rid of me. They can't. I'm dying to release the heat. You know I will. The quarantine brought the hunger back in the beast. The backpacking rap spit kick is obsolete. Maybe for you, but it's not for me. I said that shit is in the heart for me. This a big part of my artistry. Pardon me with that snapping and trapping. Everybody's singing and auto-tune rapping.
Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight.
Son of Alice.
Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight.
Black
Make
Kid.
sure my mic is loud and my production is tight. Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight.
Name the medicine, talk that shit. Gatsby, you killed this beat. Black Magic with the sugar. Son of Alice. Hip hop. Iron
That's
Horse.
good right there. That's good right there. With those tracks. Oh man, with the Flash Gordon?
Right.
Really?
Couple classic.
That was
Couple
hot.
classic
Yeah,
nuggets
Black
in that.
Magic threw that up in there, you know. So that was dope.
Yes. Yeah, that is like nostalgia at its finest.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Couple
keeping
nice
that hip
little
hop.
nuggets.
Yeah, thank you for keeping that hip hop alive with that.
Now I gotta
Yeah,
find the
man.
movie Flash Gordon. I gotta find where I can stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So what's next for you, man? What you got coming up?
Actually, me and Black Magic is working on an album now. So I mean that'll probably hit like maybe around summertime. You know what I mean? So right now is it's called The Cloth. So you know.
Oh, okay. Had to
Wow,
get y'all back out here for back on here for that.
sure.
Definitely, you know.
Definitely. I can't wait to hear that. Just from what we heard over that song, and y'all doing a whole
Right.
project. Did it come from
Yeah.
doing that project? Is that why y'all decided?
Well, no, like I started working on some songs and stuff, and I was like, yo, you know, like I was, you know, thinking that like some of the songs I got some hooks to it, but then I was like, you know what? I should do a project with Black Magic and he doing the hooks, you know what I mean? Like add that element of the DJ in it, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Man, any other ventures of your own, like clothing line, movies, soundtracks, anything like that? You
Yeah,
doing?
I would love to get on another soundtrack. Only soundtrack I was on was a movie that Method Man had called Lucky Number.
I remember that.
Yeah, like two of our records played in that, like, you know.
You
So
said only soundtrack you've been on. You know, most
I
people don't know soundtrack.
I know, but I would love to be on another one, you know. So
Well, we're gonna put that
but
out there
Right.
for you. We're gonna sprinkle that into the universe.
yeah.
Facts.
Get you on some soundtracks and get you in movies.
Yeah, so I'm just pushing because I like last year I think it was well how Son of Alice came out like the way it did because I was on Sway in the Morning and I had submitted like 2 tracks and they had me on the show but over the phone because this was during COVID or whatever, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And
Oh, okay.
yeah, they have a segment called
Get in the
like
game or
get
something?
in the game, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
they played my track. I have a track with UG from Cellar Dwellers,
Mm.
Okay.
and they played that, and like all the people that called in was like, "Yo, that's dope. Put that man in the game." Like it was no, and I thought I was gonna get a couple of like negatives from like the young cats, but no, everybody, you know. Then the second joint was like a joint about like my wife, how like we started, you know, how we built up and then end up having kids and stuff. And Common was the guest on the show,
Ah,
and
Okay.
he was digging it, and then DJ Premier called in and co-signed the joint. Like,
oh,
yo, my Twitter and everything went bananas from that. But then like that was it. Like I ain't hear nothing more from none of them or anything. You know, like I even did the Common Challenge. Remember that's that record he put out, and he had left like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, he left like a open what's called Imagine. He left like a open verse thing, and I like
Mhm.
Tracy G was like, "Oh, you should do that challenge," and I
Like a
did that
duet
shit. I
challenge.
did that shit right away, and I sent it to them, and but you know, I never really heard nothing about it from them, so
Well, so you
Mhm.
got to be careful because sometimes they don't want nobody outshining them. So
words,
Right,
Ah,
right. You got to, and
But I mean,
you got to protect
you
your
know
work
what though?
too.
I will say over the last year and a half, I did get like two messages or so from Primo, and he was like, "Yo, I didn't forget about you." And then
that's
Oh yeah,
what's
that's
up.
like
fire.
Ooh.
Golden play Golden played on a few shows on Shade 45, so I think he was behind that. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
Well,
I,
it's a lot of people
yeah,
that do things and it takes a long time, but your time will come. So just
yeah,
you never know when you're
Yeah,
gonna
hey,
pop.
but
You
yeah,
got
that's
so many
we're not gonna.
people that all it takes is a spark. So
Right,
yeah. It's
we're not
true.
gonna gloss over that with the primo joint either though.
I
That's
right,
know.
you know
Wow.
what I'm saying? Like, yeah, shout out for that for real.
that's
Shout
some
out to
great
Primo.
acknowledgement.
Yeah,
Like he's
that
like
felt
the
good.
you know
I
what I'm
would love
saying?
to hear you.
He's a scratch god right there.
Yeah. I would
Yeah,
love to hear you on.
I actually have the audio too. So like one day I could send it to you guys. Like they sent me the audio from the show and everything.
That's what's
Oh, okay,
up.
yeah, yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
dope.
That would be dope. That would be dope. I would love to hear you on some Primo beats, bro.
Oh
Shoot.
man.
Bro, some of Primo's throwaways is so dope that
I
it's
know.
just
It's funny too. Me and Guru have the same birthday, July
oh really?
17th. Yep.
Oh,
Wow.
That's
that's
what's up.
crazy.
Rest in peace, Guru, man.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Definitely
Yes,
missed.
sir.
Definitely missed. Hey man, where can everybody find you on social media and stream your music and all that?
Instagram and Maine the Medicine, Facebook. I got my regular name, Jermaine Croon, on Facebook. And then Twitter at Maine the Medicine. So,
Okay.
So
and
Maine is
all,
Maine for everyone who's watching. Maine the
yeah,
medicine.
and
Well, listen,
THE, not DATHE.
Main the
Maine
it's
the medicine.
Yeah.
articulation out here.
you know, black folks, we gotta change it up. We got
Yeah,
at least you
Ebonics
didn't.
family.
Yeah, at least you didn't put dollar signs and
Yeah,
numbers.
I didn't want to put nothing that becomes like out of style later on. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
I feel that.
word.
My question: how did you come up with your name? It's got to be a story behind your name.
Yeah, I was gonna ask where it
I
came from.
actually I used to go by trips, and maybe like 20 years ago I put out a mixtape, and I called it the medicine. Like I was saying, like I'm like the solution to like what's going on. You know what I mean? And then like a couple of my friends was like, yo, medicine. They just started calling me that. So then I just put Maine and medicine together, and it stuck. And everybody was digging it, so I stayed with that.
Oh,
I feel it. I feel it. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Playoff because you say your name is Jermaine. So yeah, I get it. All right.
Yeah,
Maine the
Yeah,
medicine.
yeah. Main the medicine. Yeah, that's dope.
that's dope. That's dope. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. And anytime you come back with a new project, man, you definitely welcome to come back on the show. Especially when you dropped the new joint you was talking about, man. I would
yeah.
definitely we would definitely love to have you back.
Oh
You
man, I
Facts.
appreciate it. And before I go, I want to shout you guys out for having a platform for artists like me. You know what I mean, to be able to be
oh
heard and be able to reach other people. And I also want to shout out MJ because this
yeah,
wouldn't have been possible without MJ.
Thank
yeah.
you, MJ.
Yo,
Salute MJ.
yo. All right, man. We will.
Thank
I'll
you
be
for
in touch.
being here.
All
I love
right.
Thank
your
you.
music, and your one song is very scary.
Well, if
You
you
should make
if,
a scary video for it.
if you
Seriously.
if you get a chance, if you go to if you look up Maine and Medicine and put Blood on My Hands, you can hear that whole album.
Okay,
Even more
okay.
scared.
You got visuals before you go. Do you have any visuals videos out there for us people to check out?
Yeah, I got there's a video for Golden out. I got
Oh, word.
yeah, I got the video for the track with me and UG. Like, yeah, just
Oh,
YouTube, main the medicine, and then if you put in Mercy Gang, we got about like 15, 20 videos, together too. So
word,
yep,
word.
Okay, okay.
You know I'm about to check them all out, bro.
word.
Yes.
Man, much success and man, salute for you continuing to represent hip hop to its fullest, man.
Yes,
Definitely,
sir. In
man.
its
Thank you.
purest form.
Yo,
Salute.
man. All right,
Thank
man.
you. I
All
appreciate you
right.
guys.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. All right, man. All right.
Main the
That was
medicine.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
That was
You got
good.
something?
So go follow his page and follow his IG and listen. If you like scary movies, listen to the song Bloodbath. I was listening. I was like, wait a minute. He's about to kill the nurse. Wait
Is you
a minute.
clutching your pearls?
I was clutching my pearl. Oh my God. Cause look, I just watched the show. I just watched the movie We Have a Ghost last night. So then I'm listening to this song and I'm like, I don't do scary stuff.
I just
I
seen
just
that
don't.
too.
It
Uh,
was good.
I don't
I
remember.
like. I liked it. I liked it. It was
I really, it was
it was
different.
it was a really good story.
And I like seeing people of color in a scary movie stepping outside of our norm. And it was refreshing to see my boy from the MCU just playing a dad, you know?
Right, right,
I,
right,
I,
right.
I like that.
Anthony Mackie.
And it was good to see Erica Ash back in a movie. It's been a minute
Yeah,
since I've seen her in anything. And like the last couple times I've seen her, she looked really, really skinny and she just didn't look well. So I'm happy to
right.
see her working because I love her from Survivor's Remorse. She was so
hmm
hilarious.
Yeah, she was still a little slim in the movie, but yeah, she
Hmm.
looks better.
She was
She
on
definitely looks
Family
better.
Reunion for a couple of episodes too. She played the sister.
Oh, okay. I started
Hmm.
that. I didn't keep watching it. It was I don't know. I have to go back.
It's kind of campy. It's that laugh track sitcom type of deal, and they have
Right.
the little
It was kind of
cheesy lines and stuff. But I
it was
think
kind of
it's more
corny.
kind of like a Disney. You know how Disney does their family
I,
shows. I think it would have
and
been
that's
better
kind of what
suited
I
for
got from it.
Disney. It would have been better
Yeah,
suited for Disney
getting
than Netflix.
I was getting those vibes a little bit. Like for instance, like I love the Upshaws. Like if it would have been more
Yes.
like the Upshaws, I'd have probably kept watching.
Yeah.
Mm.
But see, it's family friendly. So the Upshaws, they don't care. The Upshaws, they sprinkle the
Hey,
N word like
but
confetti.
I've always been a fan of Wanda
Mike
Sykes
Epps,
too,
Wanda
though.
Sykes.
Yeah, Wanda. I've always been a fan of Wanda, and her character actually reminds me a lot of. You ever watch Reba?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Reba too, right? Because of just because of her character is real snappy, and I feel like
Yes.
that's what I feel like
I
the
can see
Upshaws is
that.
what Reba would be if they
The
had
the way
profanity.
Reba dealt with her son-in-law. Yes, it's the same
Right. If they had
dynamic.
profanity, I feel like it would be the same show almost.
Agreed.
I like Miss
Agreed.
Pat.
Hey,
I like Miss Pat show. I
hey,
think
I like her as a comedian, but I hadn't tapped into her show yet, and I
yeah.
just seen a couple episodes, and yo,
I don't care for the stand up. I like the show better. I really
yeah,
liked the
yeah,
show
yeah.
better than
Look,
I liked her stand up. I didn't really
That but see, that's
when
why I didn't. tap fully into the show because her stand up was okay,
I
Yeah.
but
didn't think
it
I
didn't
was
make
gonna
me
like
want.
it.
Yeah, it didn't make me want to just. So, but then I actually saw a couple episodes like, oh, yo, this is off the chain.
Mm.
Look, when she dropped the P word, and I was like, again, with the pearls, madam,
Mhm.
how could you use such a cheap and tawdry word, madam? But then I ended up binging it down. I couldn't stop. I was like, because you know who makes the show for me? Tammy Roman. Denise is a full character on
Mm,
that show.
Mhm.
Like Tammy Roman makes the show for me. It
Mhm.
just really and I love the fact that the father is present.
Yeah.
mm,
I love that.
mm.
Like it's a rarity now, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's
There's
I
a
was pleasantly surprised with that show.
there's a
Right.
movie that just dropped that I want to see, and maybe we'll be able to watch it later tonight. Strange Love with Country Wayne. Y'all never heard of
Okay.
that?
Uh
I'm not hip.
I
let
never
me
seen Country Wayne in any movies per se. I've always just seen him on social media.
I
So I'm
I'm
Right.
curious.
leery. I'm leery of the movie, and let me tell you why.
Why?
Why?
I'm calling BS
Why?
because Country Wayne has been very devout about, first of all, his love for Jesus.
Mhm.
Jesus is popping. That's his slogan.
Mhm.
Country Wayne does not use profanity.
Mhm.
Country Wayne is a clean comedian. Country Wayne has rose to the top and he's done it the right way. He hasn't done anything crazy. Why are y'all putting him in a pseudo demonic movie? Why is
Mm.
that the role he gets to start his movie career off with?
Mm.
I mean, you already know, you want to partake in Hollywood on a certain level,
Right.
certain,
And
certain.
but you gotta watch what they trying to do to you because I just hope they don't get him. Because once
Mm,
if he does the whole one eye thing, then we know.
mm.
Still on down the line. Like we already know what's going on. I don't want to see it happen. I'm like, somebody has to stay pure.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
it's produced, directed by Carl. What is cockroaches?
Weathers,
Used to be cockroach on the Cosby
Hey,
Show. Carlton Payne.
Carl
but
Payne. Yeah.
Carl Payne. Carl Payne. Yeah, it's
Didn't
Miss
is him and old girl still married?
Winslow,
Carl Winslow. No, Carl Winslow.
I'm sorry. I'm so
We've been having a lot of conversations about Carl Winslow lately. We- she
sorry.
went,
All
we
these
went to the store.
commercials.
She
So
said this
now
But
dude looked like Carl
I ain't know.
Winslow at the store, bro. Little young boy. Don't you look like Carl Winslow with braids? No, he's
Talking about the dad from Family Matters.
yeah, yeah. I thought the dude looked like old dog from Minister Society for real. That he did. Little young
wait,
dude, he had the braids. He looked like
he was
old
Wait a
dog.
at
minute,
the drive-through window.
that is
He
like
still
two
had the
totally
twisty.
different spectrums, though. He
Old
said
dog
old
working at
dog.
the
You
pizza
said
place.
Carl Payne. I mean Carl Winslow. Like that is two different people
I'm sorry,
completely.
but when I hear Carl, it just pops in like Winslow.
I ain't know better. I said Weathers.
You said what? Action Jackson producing.
Apollo Creed.
Oh,
The original.
oh man.
Uh, I want to
Wait.
see that too. I would love to see that. That's the
So
movie I would probably want to go see if we go. 'Cause I
what
don't,
is
you know.
going on with the whole Creed Rocky thing? Because they're
I,
saying that Sylvester Stallone is going to be in Creed, and then Michael
I
B.
don't think he's
Jordan
in
was
it.
saying something about Sylvester Stallone and his place in the movie. Like, do they have beef or what
Well,
happened?
Stallone had, to my recollection, Stallone has him and I want to say it's the director had an indifference. So I don't
Mm.
think that I don't think he's in the movie.
Okay. Because
Mm.
somebody was saying something about he's going to be in it, or he's going to be in another one. So I'm like, are
Yeah,
y'all already planning for another Creed that already?
he was supposed to make a cameo in this one, but I don't know. I don't know if they fixed their differences before the movie was finished
Because
shooting,
they can always pivot,
and then
in
I know
Hollywood.
he also has a another Expendables coming out supposedly.
Uh,
Look,
Sylvester
all
Stallone
I'm
busy.
waiting for, all I'm waiting for is Tulsa King.
Salute.
I know,
I've been
right? I
praying for.
know.
I
I
pray
bet
for that man daily. Like, Lord, please let Sylvester
it.
Stallone make it
Hey, I
back.
like the way I like the way he entered the game though. Like that was that
When he
was
walked in that
crazy.
dispensary, like, who's protecting you? Who's watching your back? Like, they're like, what do you mean?
It was like what?
This
What
is
you talking
legal.
about? Like, dude, he tripping.
But he told him, he's like, they're gonna come for you one day. And he was like, I told you. He's like, everything's gone. Everything's gone. When they brought those big satchels out and threw them on the ground, I was like,
Hmm.
man, they had his back.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, because remember that was when he went into the spot with when there wasn't nobody there. He went. Remember he went in the safe.
Hmm. You
Mm.
know who
But
ticked me
yeah,
off was your girl at the end. She didn't have to do that.
Nah.
She would never
at
make
the
that.
end,
She
at the end.
The cop.
huh?
The cop turned him
Oh,
The cop.
in.
She
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
going to
yeah.
make that much money in her career.
Yeah.
Really,
Well,
ma'am?
can we talk about the elephant in the room right now with the Chris Rock
Uh,
comedy?
uh,
I was gonna say we got to talk about current.
Uh, uh,
Okay, well, two questions. Two questions. Have y'all seen the Chris Rock one stand up yet?
yes.
Okay, did
I
you watch?
fell asleep.
Uh, okay, because I ain't watched it all yet, fully yet. Did you watch um,
Some
Marlon
more
Wayans?
killed it. Huh?
Marlon Wayans.
Marlon got a new one?
He got a new one?
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah,
What's it called?
yeah. It's shoot, it's on HBO, or it was
Oh,
on. I want to say it was. I want to say it was on HBO.
oh. No, I
And then
didn't get
yeah,
to
some
see
more,
that.
and I like some more. Some more killed it too.
Oh, some more laid me flat. When she said that dude, hey, he had a mouthful of Air Force One. She said your teeth can't be whiter than your eyes. You sitting here with Hennessy eyes and cocaine teeth. She said, let me get it from this table before I catch a Rico charge.
Mm,
Oh,
Yeah,
she
yeah, that
laid
was
me
funny.
out. Oh,
But
I've never been a
so
big Samore fan.
so what's your assessment, D, of the Chris Rock? Like,
It was slow in the beginning. He had me a few laughs, but it was not a typical Chris Rock stand up comedy special to me.
okay,
As he got closer to the end, when he started going in, I was happy for him. And I thought it was funny. He did go in a bit much on Jada. He did. But
okay, I ain't,
Well, he's
I
at
ain't
catching
some
get to
heat
the, I
point
ain't
for
get
it.
to the end.
at
I
some
ain't get to
point,
the end.
was it
He's
Jada's
catching
fault
heat
that
for it.
was it really Jada's fault that Will acted that way? I
No,
don't know.
Will Smith is a giant man.
That that is kind of a tricky question though, and I
Because
only
she
say
did give
that
him that look.
right, but I only say that in or in respect to like we all understand like trauma and what trauma does and how it creates certain energies and what have you. And I
Mm,
feel like the expectations or what have you, you know what I mean, between them, I feel like the constant berating and, everything that he's dealt with her, I feel like kind of maybe was the culmination of all of that. It just particularly may have been a bad time, one. but I also feel like that was all kind of slightly set up as well.
Mm. I agree
Because
with
like,
Okay.
Chris.
cause like Son said, like you know, tickets weren't great before the slap.
Nope.
After the slap, they skyrocketed
Yep.
immediately.
Immediately. Let me
Immediately.
give y'all some numbers too. Go ahead, finish your thought. I
And
apologize. Go ahead.
and Will Smith movie didn't take a hit. Like Will hasn't really taken a hit. I mean, he had a little bit of a public backlash, but that blew over, and now you just a butt of jokes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he
Will's
hasn't
Okay.
taken it. But he hasn't taken a hit because his movie still
suck.
Emancipation did great.
Whose movies suck?
Nobody wanted to see another slave movie. Flop. Everybody that I've met said he might be good in it, but bad timing. We
He's
trying
good
to
in
uplift
everything.
black people. We don't want to see no
It
damn
was bad
slave movie.
timing.
We don't
It
want to see
was
no slave movie. And then
Oh,
come
so
back with
now y'all
that.
don't want to see a slave movie after
We ain't
12
want to
years
see
of
it
slaves,
then.
underground, all the slave stuff everybody came out with. Y'all want to stop seeing slave movies because Will made a slave movie?
No, we just don't want to see no more
actually
slave movies. We just
right.
don't.
We
We
tired,
tired.
and
We tired. We
like D40
tired.
said, it was bad timing. Like
Yeah,
that's fresh off of Black Lives Matter. Like who wants to see that?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're
Okay.
basically trying
So
to tell us to get back in our place, more or less, what the movie was for.
Mm.
But
Oh,
yeah, it's like
we'll go back to
never.
that
Is
after
that
you.
one of those never forget?
mm.
Right, and it's a question about slavery I want to ask before we finish up. So remind
Well,
me.
I think that it's good for people to see that so people pay attention to what's happening in Mississippi with these Jim Crow laws. And while everybody's out here doing their thing and making videos and stuff, there's laws being passed that are setting
Mm.
people back or could potentially set people back. So we need to see somebody get some lashings. So we'll be vigilant and pay attention. But back to Chris Rock. Okay. So I was I'm exhausted, period. So I was kind of in and out, right?
Hmm.
Chris did not have my full attention. But what I did see, I feel like Chris is, I don't want to use the C word, but Chris is one of those black people who loves his white friends to the point of it being inappropriate.
Mm.
Okay. You let Louis C.K. throw the N word around like confetti to the point where Ricky Gervais ended up throwing the N word out there, and that's not even his MO. And to the point where Jerry Seinfeld had to be the voice of reason in the room to say, no, it's not fine. And meanwhile, this black man is like, nah, it's cool, it's cool. This is my guy here. But he's not all of our guy. He's not everybody's guy. And like Jerry
Right,
Seinfeld said, I don't care. No, this
and
is not
Jerry
okay.
fuck with, and Jerry fuck with Eddie too, and Jerry know that shit ain't acceptable
Yeah,
around people like that.
he F with the president. He had Barack Obama in his car riding around drinking coffee and having a good time. Like,
Hmm.
no, that's not okay. So I had a problem with his pandering to white people and talking about, well, that's not racism, but such and such happened. This ain't racism. And then it seems as though he has a problem with dark skin. Like some of the things that he said make me feel like he really has a problem with dark skin.
I
Now,
mean, well, you
knowing
gotta remember though, he
someone,
wasn't. Not to cut you off, but you gotta remember he's always been dark.
yep,
He was for the longest. He wasn't the most attractive individual. I mean, he
he's
still
had a
really
lot.
isn't.
He's had work done for sure. Cause
He's,
Pookie don't look
he
like Pookie no more. Pookie ain't Pookieing as
true,
much.
and his age has helped him well as well.
Yep,
His aging
yep.
has helped him as well. But
He,
so I think some of that is like kind of like trauma. You know what I mean? Like back to the word trauma. Like I think that's some of his trauma.
okay, so his trauma came out in his stand up. Then um he was talking about the A word and talking about how he's paid for hundreds of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was talking about the fact that Bad Boys for Life is in the global top 10 on Netflix, and has been. It has been watched for 6.07 million hours. Okay. And somebody came in onto my post and was like, well, Chris Rock been rich. Okay, I'm not sure what your point was with saying that, but cool. It's an open forum. You're entitled to that. And guess what? Now he's even richer because his tickets went from $45 to the next day 400 plus. No
Mm-hmm.
charges were ever filed.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody slaps you in the face, you usually talk about that stuff when your face is still sore and swollen. You're not waiting. He literally said he'll talk about it when he gets paid. So he held out to get a Netflix special that was not in the works for him. Okay. And yes, Chris Rock may be rich by our standards, but he is not Will Smith rich.
He said his
And guess
mom
what
told him to
else?
stand back.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. And guess what else? While he was paying for hundreds of smortions, that's why
Well, actually,
his
actually,
income
actually,
changed. Because
actually though, actually though,
y'all keep cutting me
Chris.
off like I'm Angela Yee.
Well, but I'm just saying, like Chris, Chris may not be quite as wealthy as Will, which I don't even know about that, but like
It's
he's not
nowhere
far
near.
off.
I'm going to give you stats.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like so maybe find like in a sense of just pure dollars and cents, maybe yes, but Chris is also a gatekeeper.
Well, he can keep all the gates he want, but he ain't keeping Will's gate. Now listen here. How about this? He, she said
That's
he's
why nothing
rich too.
happened.
He's rich
But that's
too.
why I feel
Well,
like that's why nothing
he's
happened
locked in
between
with
them
white
though.
Hollywood. They
Huh?
love him. I said he's
They
locked in
both
with
are.
white Hollywood. They love him. Well,
They
either
both are.
way, before before the Oscars, Chris Rock had a net worth of $20 million, right? That's not even a small percentage of Will Smith's income post Oscar slap. But get
Hmm.
this, pre-divorce, Chris Rock had a net worth of 60 million.
Right.
So while he's bragging about paying for women's smortions and all the women he smashed, his timeline is jacked up because he was smashing them women during his marriage. And that's why he lost $40 million of his income. She took more than half of his money. She got more
Hmm.
than half of his money. That's after the attorney's fees. Like he
Hmm.
literally had to give, that woman went through a lot with him. Now, where we talk about him and his issues with dark skin, I know a former madam who knows people who know him. His thing that he likes is BJ's. He only likes them from light skinned Puerto Rican women. The limousine pulls up, they come out, they cannot look at him, they cannot speak to him, they cannot look him in the eye. He wants to see their face. He wants them to look in his direction, but they cannot lock eyes with him. And they have to be a light skinned Puerto Rican woman. They do their thing. He pays. They roll. So even the fact that he was married to Malak, who is kind of brown, I was shocked to see that. And I wonder if that was like more of a maternal thing. Like this woman is pleasing to my mother. Maybe because she's definitely an educated woman. She's a businesswoman. This is the one I could bring home to mom. Well,
I gotta,
she changed his tax bracket.
right. I got a slight story about Chris. That's which is actually, So remember, remember the place Remington on
Remington.
161.
The apartments. Yeah.
No, 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 no. What the
Wait,
apartment?
was it a club?
Rem- Remington was not an apartment. It was
Was
a
it a club?
it was up in Columbus Square,
Oh,
the Gentlemen's Club.
okay. I
So
remember that place.
right. So I was there one night. This is in the '90s. I was there, and homie comes into the spot. I guess he had performed here that night or something. And apparently that was one of his little hangouts when he was in the city. So we're in there, we hanging out. I got my uncle with me. It's myself, it's my uncle, uh, Nitty, the homie Nitty, and then I think my cousin, possibly. I think it was my cousin. I'm not sure. There was one other person with us. But anyway, we said we had hanging out. We got a table, and he comes in. He has two dudes with him, and the way they came in, like you wouldn't have thought that they were his bodyguards, but found out later they was his bodyguards. Like they looked like they was just kind of all together. So they go to the little to the bar for a minute, then they go to the little VIP, and somebody was like, "Oh, they get to whispering like, oh, that's Chris Rock, that's Chris Rock," they did all this stuff. And my uncle, my uncle's a fool. My uncle was like nobody care about no. Uh, he, he said, "Look here." He's like, he's like, my pockets look like his, and my uncle was halfway pimp too, so yeah, it was, oh my god. So
Halfway pimp.
anyway, yeah, so he tells one of the cocktail waitresses to tell Chris he want to speak to him and all this, and Chris declined. Oh, that made my uncle. Oh, what? That fired my uncle up. He's like, man, yeah. He's like, I knew, I knew, I knew, I knew. I was like, oh, just let it go, let it go. He was like, no, 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 no. He's like, I knew I was gonna have to say something to him. I knew it. He's like, cause ain't no way you supposed to be on his level and be down here with me.
Right.
He's like, but you acting bougie like you don't want to talk to me. And I held my guy, so we had to end up taking my uncle out of there, so he ain't say nothing to it. Cause I was like, "Yo, we don't need
Oh
that.
no.
We don't need that." Because I knew the owner, and he was like, "Hey, that is Chris, and he's like, that's his bodyguards with him, so we don't want no trouble or
Right.
whatever." My uncle like, "Ain't gonna be no trouble." He's like, "I'm just gonna tell him about
Oh,
himself. I'm just gonna let him know what it is." I was like, "Oh no, we not about to do that." All right, yep, time to go. Pack it up.
I like it.
Pack it
Go
up.
tell him about himself. I'd have been pumping him up. Y'all to put me out too. I'd be like, what you need to do is go over there with your drink in your hand and slip.
Oh yeah, listen, my uncle didn't need no help. He didn't need no help at all. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Now,
just it was a shock though to see him, especially there. But what I mean, just moving around the city like that, like but he was kind of like real funny. You know what I mean? Like he didn't want because I guess because I knew a couple of the women that worked there, and they said the same thing you said. He didn't want them to look at him, and he was real
and he
quirky.
only wants light skinned women.
Yeah, yeah, he was real quirky.
He has, and just like the way he just wrote off everything, that's not racism. It's such and such. Well, nah, that's not racist. That's so and so. And and that's just the way he seems to be in his interactions. Now, I will say this: the best part, which is where I woke up to finally like stay awake and pay attention, was when he started talking about Will and Jada. It was hilarious and it made me want to cry. It was sad because I feel
Mm.
like in another space and time, Will Smith and Chris Rock could have been real cool because you could tell he had genuine admiration and love for Will Smith.
But I feel like
And I
I
feel
feel
like
like
it was
I
like
feel
he
like
was
to that
hurt by
point
it.
they were. But I feel like before that they were cool, real cool.
Well, see, it's been said that not Will, that Chris and Jada kind of had a little thing back
Mm.
in the day.
What?
Because we forget they did the Madagascar movies together. And y'all know Jada
Right.
is known for like dealing with her co-star. She was messing with Mark Anthony when she was doing Hawthorne.
Ooh.
And so where people will say, I
I didn't
think
know
people
that.
are they picking up the wrong thing. That's why the show was taken off so abruptly. See,
Mm.
the thing about Will and Jada, they have always had this open relationship. And people were telling Wendy Williams, they would Wendy Williams been talking about this since Jesus was a baby. And everybody's so, oh, you
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Making that up. Oh, you this, you that. Wendy has never been sued. Her information was solid. She talked about the key
Mm-hmm.
parties. She talked about everything. And I really, people are like, oh, well, you should have hit the dude that was messing with Jada. He don't want to hit Og. That's his boy. He don't want to hit August Alsina. He wants to hit the public who found out. He wants to hit the people who are looking at them in shame because they're living the way
Mm-hmm.
they want to live and they're doing what they want to
Mm-hmm.
do. That's
And
why they're still
that's
together. That's
and I
why they
feel like that
haven't
was the
left
only
each other.
reason why he was upset because
He's dealing with
she was mess
shame right now because they kept it
right, but I feel like he
controlled.
was upset more because it got out. He was upset at her for being
Exactly.
messy and
He's
allowing it
not
to get
mad
out.
because it happened. He's mad because people found out, or not even because they found out. Because when your wife hits the red carpet with your friend's son and they hugged up and they look a certain way, I believe when August Alsina said he had his blessing, I believe he did. I believe it's just the
Mm-hmm.
fact that the way people are reacting and they can't control the narrative anymore. It's like the cat is
Mm-hmm.
not only out the bag, the cat is running down the street, the cat is on fire, the cat is pissing on everything, the cat is throwing bombs in the street, the cat has gone crazy. You can no longer control the cat. And they
Right,
control things for so long. It has
right, but
been she had a penchant for WNBA players. Like it is well known how they roll. But now
mm-hmm.
just everything is out. That's
Right,
the
and
only difference between now and then
we
is that
are in the
everybody
age
knows.
of Aquarius.
So the whole power couple, rock solid marriage, faithful. I remember her doing interviews and people like flat out saying, I heard you guys were swingers. And she was like, what? I wish.
Mm,
Oh,
Girl,
yeah.
girl.
And then for her to then for her to create a show and then just go balls to the wall on the show about a lot.
yeah.
Like,
Chris was right when he said, "Who does that? Why would you do that? Why would you put your business out there?
And then
Anytime
get
you
mad
put
when
your
people
life,
react.
anytime you put your relationship out into the world or amongst people, it ain't never gonna be good.
And you don't have
yeah,
control with how
Never.
people react.
No.
at all. How they receive it, what they think, how they talk about it, none of that. You don't get to control none of
Nope.
that.
Mm.
But
So,
I will say this. Chris Rock is getting a lot of flack in the media today because he put the majority of everything on Jada and people are like that's wrong. But I don't
mm,
think people know how much control Jada has over Will. They should
Mhm.
see like the way cuz he was fine. He was laughing at first. And then she said,
mm.
and that was that. You better stomp
I
your
don't even
feet and
think
light
I
a
don't even
match
think it
for
was.
this.
I think her hands was down below and she twinkled her fingers a little bit. You know what I'm talking about?
It was something, like the whole he changed completely. He went from
Hmm.
laughing and uncomfortable. Don't get me. It wasn't like a belly laugh. It was a kind of here we go about to play this off again, and she's looking at him like I'm tired of you being a punk.
Yeah, but I feel like she got because she got a lot of power in Hollywood as well. People don't realize, or I ain't gonna say
She
power, but
she definitely does now.
her connections run deep.
She got the ladies on lock, that's for sure. Cause her red table stays filled.
Hmm.
And
Women.
Yeah,
all of her guests are heavy hitters.
Mm.
yeah, very true. She be yeah.
And it's
This
so weird because she had August Alsina on her show. And guess who the second guest was at the table?
Ooh.
She
who?
had him on the day she had Will Smith's sister there.
Mm.
What the fluff?
Mm.
Like, what is happening with you people?
They're just a hot mess.
Like, of all the people to diddle around with, you're going to diddle around with your young son's sick, physically sick, emotionally challenged, maternally starved friend. That's who you pick. That is
Yeah.
predatory. If August Alsina was a girl and Jada Pinkett was JoJo Pinkett, JoJo would be in jail right now with R.
Or even if
Kelly.
it was just, even if it was, she was on the other foot, it was Will and Willow's friend.
Yes.
Like
When
it'd
Will
be the
when
whole, it'd be a
Will
lot of outrage.
befriended
It'd be a lot of outrage over it.
when Will was mentoring Liza Koshy, people lost their mind. They was like,
Mm.
she kind of young, Will, and they nipped the public nipped that in the bud like, nerp, you will not get your Jada on today, sir. No, you will not,
Yeah, that's crazy.
cause he
I don't
tried it.
know.
He had that little girl traveling with him. She was on a boat with him. Everywhere Will went, Liza Koshy was with him
Will.
for a good little minute. And then people started noticing. I said, well, y'all just some scouting out, grooming. Y'all are
I
a
mean,
mess.
you
What
can't move.
one thing that you felt that you missed about Chris is that he kept saying, talking about younger women. He don't
Mm.
mind having younger
Oh,
women
yeah.
because he can afford all they
He
want
got the
is a Happy
cake.
Meal or something. But an older woman, he said, yeah, it's
She want the
good, but
ruffins.
she want, yeah, you want this. She want the new
Can I
car.
get
She
some
want the ceiling
shoes? Can I get
done.
some shoes? I want some shoes. I'm gonna send you the
Yeah,
link.
yeah, the little young girl, all she wanted
That
some
was
shoes.
hilarious.
She might get
I'm
to
gonna
the
send you
swap
the
meet.
link.
Man,
He
Yeah,
said,
that's
old woman,
crazy.
she need a roof. She get a new roof.
Mm-mm.
maybe I need to watch it again, and it probably will be funny once you watch it again, and you be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's funny." But
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. It's like I said, like you said, it started slow, so I was just like, I already know I'm gonna fall asleep on this.
I'm gonna find Marlon Wayans and watch it
man,
Yeah, yeah. You know,
because I like Marlon.
Marlon
Marlon is
one.
Marlon. Marlon is Marlon. You know, my lady loves Marlon, so
I love Marlon. I was so hurt when
uh,
they took his show off. I was crushed.
Mala.
Marlon, 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 Marlon.
it wasn't that funny.
Marlon,
Really?
it was
It's
hilarious.
yeah, it was alright.
Oh my God, Stephondre Nagel, his friend, he was a task rabbit. Oh my God, that was hilarious. And Brisha
Yeah,
Webb. Oh, I love that
I mean,
show.
it was okay.
I
In my
loved it.
opinion.
One thing for sure, and one thing's for certain: the Smiths is not hurting because Bel Air just
No.
came back and it,
Westwood Entertainment is on
it
fire on all
didn't
cylinders.
hurt
That
that
show
show
is
one
fire.
bit. Yeah, salute to
Yeah.
Salute.
season
And
2 of Bel
Ashley
Air.
is there.
Well, no, she's gone now.
Well, Doug, don't tell me. Ooh, D Boys, don't tell me.
You call me that all the time. You say it all the time in the show, like, hey, well,
I'm
Doug
so sorry.
said,
I'm so sorry.
world, if you don't know my name is Doug by now, and you watch the show, you do now for
If
sure.
y'all don't know, this is my husband, and I say that word like 5 million times a day. And it's usually real slow. Doug.
I don't know what's worse, being called Doug or
Dougie.
Dougie. If you call me Dougie in 2023, you've known me when I was this high. So that's how you know somebody know me forever when they start saying, "What up, Dougie?" Even people from
Oh
high school,
yeah.
older
Or
up
when
older
they say your
cats.
full name.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
Treva and Barb, they say Dougie Fresh.
yeah, yeah. That one too. That
Or
one's
like Buka just say Fresh. What's up,
fresh.
Fresh?
Yeah, I was fresh in high school. What up, fresh?
I've never heard him call you anything other than Depoys or Fresh. Like
Fresh.
he does not call. He's never used any other name for you.
Never
Depoys or
called
Fresh.
me.
That's
He
it.
never called me Doug. He was fresh.
Fresh.
Depoys fresh.
I remember
Yeah.
I was standing in line somewhere. All I heard was my full government from behind me. And y'all know what I did. Y'all know. Y'all know what I did. I ain't nothing. I act like I ain't even hear it.
You knew it had
Next
to
thing
be
you know,
somebody old.
oh yeah,
I
it was
used to
somebody from like
I used to do
elementary
that
school.
too. And then you started complaining, and I started saying, "Hey, government name."
Cause so I didn't acknowledge it. I didn't twitch. I didn't make. It was like Kobe when Matt Barnes tried to hit him with the ball and he ain't flinch. Like I didn't even act like I didn't hear it. Next thing you know, a little face kind of just crept into my view. Like you ain't hear me call your name. I was like, oh my god, what is going on? I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. I knew it had to be somebody from childhood.
Man, when Kobe messed up, somebody told me, and they brought it back to my attention about Kobe when Kobe messed around on his wife back then. He bought her that big giant ring. I just
Hmm.
remember that. Like he sure did. When he was in
Hmm.
that hotel, wasn't it in Colorado or something? He cheated on his wife, and he ended up
Yep.
buying her that huge giant ring.
With a chick that had all kind of soil in her drawers.
Didn't she try to say he raped her or something too? Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Where's that chick at now?
Yeah, she's trying to get paid.
Yeah, we don't even remember that lady's name to this
It
day.
was it was consensual, but then it came out that she messed with him, and I guess her parents had a problem with people of color,
Mm.
Hmm.
and it was can I say anal? He had anal relations with her, and then it came out, and it came out, and then in order to save face, she said that it was against her will.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, and then
And
that's when he bought Vanessa that big old pink diamond. It was a four
Yeah,
million dollar diamond.
yeah, yeah.
wow, $4 million. And then Tiger.
And she was like, Jennifer Holiday, I'm staying.
Tiger, it was a wrap for Tiger. Tiger
Yeah.
was out here pimping.
Mm.
Oh, Tiger had his hands full. Like it wasn't
Tiger
just
was out.
one. Like they was just coming out the woodwork. Like me too,
Tiger
me
was out here
too.
pimping. He was out here
I'm
pimping.
surprised he's still able to walk the streets. I'm surprised ain't nobody came out and said he uh sexually touched him or anything like that to kill his career.
What happened to your boy Cuba Gooding? Like, didn't he get caught up in some stuff like that up there in them pictures, looking crazy, looking like boat trip?
Yeah, yeah,
It's still going
yeah,
on, ain't
something.
it?
Yeah, I
Still,
think so.
yeah.
When are these
Cuban.
people going to learn? When are they going to learn? Like we've been dealing with this since time began.
Hmm.
When? When does it
Cuba,
end?
Cuba need
When
to
do
Yeah.
you finally understand some things you just don't do?
mm.
It's almost like I don't even feel sorry for you. That's
Mm.
what you get. Go on and take your punishment, dum dum.
Mm.
Like, seriously. Like it's
I
not
mean, you're
like you
right.
don't have so many examples of things to not do.
Hmm.
That's why right now you got folks out here with NDAs. Nope, sign this non-disclosure agreement. If you roll up in here, I'm letting you know what it is right now. So if it pops off, you can't run and say nothing but what really went down. Like you
Yep.
have to be that way because people are on the take. You
Mm.
know, look at your boy
Always.
Kevin Hart. Look at your boy Kevin Hart. Oh, he was gonna have him hot, lovely relations with that girl, and it was all set up like they was recording everything.
Mm. He had to come clean, didn't he? He had to
You
come
got all
clean.
Yep.
that money, you walking around with a target on your back, and you think you just out here doing something. Think you're getting away with something. You sneaking, ain't you? Being recorded.
Really?
Bingo.
He didn't even know. He didn't even realize.
Hey,
Crazy.
really? You really got on and said you cheated on your wife?
He
I'm,
had to.
I'm gonna
It
let
was
y'all know right now
recorded.
before it come out. This is what I did. I was like, "What? No way! Must have
He
been pretty
had no
bad."
choice. It was
Mm-hmm.
recorded. He was either going to tell or it was going to come out. That's like with your mom. Look, I'm gonna let you know I broke the lamp. There, I wait for mama to go in my room right now because I realize I'm in the wrong. I'm gonna go in there, wait, and you just let me know what you feel should happen about the broken lamp situation. I'll be in there waiting for you. Do you mind if I turn on my TV? Like you already know what it is. Like that's where he was. He knew it was coming. He wasn't like Chris Rock. He knew the slap was coming.
Yeah,
Mm.
he couldn't avoid that one.
Couldn't have avoided it. They
It was a
had
wrap.
video and audio, good
And it
clear
wasn't,
audio.
and it wasn't the first time that he got caught up. So
Nope.
Who we talking about?
Kevin Hart.
That wasn't the first time.
Nope.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay. Mhm.
Nope. Which
So did
kind
she
of gave
know?
credence to his kind of gave credence to Tory Hart's beef that she was talking about in her many interviews that she did after they broke up. Everybody looking
mm,
like, oh, you just a jealous hater. Oh, you just mad because Kevin Hart don't want to be with you no more. Then when this happened, you looking at him like, really, a Nico too? Like, is anyone safe from you, sir? Like,
Mm.
so now you
mm,
got to acknowledge that maybe she wasn't lying.
So did she know? Like, had he been caught when he did before the time when he admitted? Was he caught by his wife at the time, or this was the
The
first?
jig was up. She knew. He was just
She
telling
knew.
us about it.
I'm talking about his second wife. Did she know
Yes.
before
yeah,
he
yeah. That's
came
what you're talking
clean?
about.
She
Yeah.
didn't
So
find
she,
out with us. she,
oh, she caught from the first wife.
Yeah, he
Then.
told
But,
yeah
but look,
he
women,
he told
ex-wives.
us so he can
no,
get
the
ahead of it
ex-wife didn't
and
tell
make the
her.
narrative. Yeah, he told us to make the in a sense to make the narrative funny because it was gonna
He
come
was
out
trying to
anyway.
get control.
Mm.
But
The
yeah, she
ex-wife
already
had
knew.
nothing to do with it. The ex-wife was gone with
But
her money and probably somewhere laughing like, yeah, you thought you was special, boo. He cheated on me. Now he cheated on you.
I thought maybe she had put out a book bashing him while he was in, they were apart and he moved
Nah,
on.
Tori
she did
Hart didn't
interviews
really do
after.
a lot of
Yeah,
Kevin bashing.
she did some interviews after the divorce, but yeah,
She
she didn't
didn't
go in
bash.
like she could have.
Oh,
And he really validated her when he cheated on the Nico
Hmm.
mm,
because it was like this is a serial situation. And when you have a woman like a Nico and you have Tori, and I think Tori's beautiful. I'm sorry, I just she's just an adorable little person. Um, you got people that look like, oh, he upgraded. Oh, he got somebody better. Well, guess what? He cheated on her too. So ain't no line or no limit.
ain't that what
Yeah.
Michael Jordan did? Damn, did Michael Jordan just do something again? Or
What?
didn't I just hear somebody say something about Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan too old to be out here cheating. I need him to get somewhere to sit still and be good like
I don't know
Denzel.
about
Or
Jordan. I know his son
something.
is messing. His son is dating
It's,
Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
he messing with Larsa Pippen.
There it is. There it is. It's something to do with Michael Jordan
Yeah,
and
well, yeah.
Yeah,
Mike.
the interviewer asked her.
They said Mike gave him his blessing.
oh, really?
I
Wow.
bet because he hating on Scottie Pippen.
Wow.
Oh, douche
Scotty
canoe.
did.
Wow.
Scotty
That's
did it to himself.
wow.
She done mess with Drake. She done mess with all kinds of people.
She has.
She's
She
for the
for the
streets. She's
she
FTS
she
for
for the
sure.
thank you. She is. She thank you. She definitely is. But
Mm.
you know, hey,
Because wasn't it rumored that she and Kim Kardashian had a threesome with Drake? That's where the whole Kiki song came from.
something like that. Yep.
It came out after the fact that they all messed around at the same time. Larsa Pippen was there, Kim Kardashian was there. It's not like y'all hanging out because you got two girls and one dude. And then he releases that album, and the next thing you see Kanye walking down the street doing an interview, and he's like, "You made that song about my wife? That's disrespectful." He was going off because they call her Kiki.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to sit up knowing your wife's nickname is Kiki, and everybody out here doing dance challenges. Will Smith on top of a building dancing to the song with a drone above him. That had to be horrible for Kanye. God,
Yeah. And people wonder why Kanye was losing his mind.
right? He's sitting here. This song is in the news cycle every single day. Like there's no way to get away from it.
Where
Like
is
they
Kanye?
trying to play with me. Like they playing with me out here.
Kanye is off with his new wife,
Say
probably working on
say
their
what?
first baby.
Yeah, he been quiet.
New wife?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got married.
Bianca Sensory.
The wedding papers ain't even dry yet, were they? Good lord, bro.
Yes, they were. Well, Kim had already went on and moved on with Pete Davidson before, so oh well. And he just got into an accident.
She didn't marry.
Yeah, he dealing with somebody else too now. I forget who it
Yeah,
was.
these people, it's like, you know what? They make real life look good because
You you
this
see?
type of lifestyle that they lead, it's just senseless. Like you could do so much better with your money and your time than what they choose to do. It's like,
You see?
ugh.
You see? Common and Jennifer Hudson.
Wait a minute. What's going on with them now?
And I gotta give a
Common
shout out to my man. I gotta give a shout out to my nigga Common because Common is he done has some of the nicest names in the game.
Common is a serial dater, and I'm starting to really question whether or not he even likes women.
Well, he's supposedly dealing with Jennifer Hudson right now, J Hud as they call her now.
And we'll give it 2 to 4 months, 2 to 6 months tops, because he does not land for long.
No, he didn't.
Hey, D, he did have some, you know what I mean?
And
What's
walked
wrong?
away from him.
Badu,
What's up with that?
Taraji,
What's up
Their
with that?
beards.
Why is he
Their
keep
their beards.
Serena,
and all those women in
Angela Rye.
I think it has something to do with he don't want to commit. I think he starts dating them, and then when they
Could be
say
that.
let's get married, he like, well, gotta go, gotta do a movie, and then that's it. Cause,
He probably at an age where he ain't trying to do that.
cause a lot didn't most of them end up being married after that or something like that.
Um,
Just what I
Not all
know,
of them.
Serena,
Serena.
Serena did. I don't know about the rest of them. Is Taraji married?
Angela Rye's not married.
Angela's not married. Erica's
Mm,
not married.
Mm.
we know Erica ain't gonna get married. she, she may have another kid before long, but let's hope not. I mean, because Erica probably about 50. What is Erica now? 51, 52? She
She's
should
somewhere in
be.
her late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, yeah. Please no more.
Erica Badu is so pure and
Mm,
so alkaline, she would be able to produce well into her 60s. I honestly believe that.
mm.
I believe at this point the children would just levitate out of her body and
Yeah,
sing and
she's
start singing.
different. She's
And
different.
that starts singing.
I
Her
never heard
daughter
her
can
daughter.
sing.
Yeah, they keep saying that. I never heard her sing.
She
They
can
keep saying
sing. That baby can
Mm.
sing.
maybe she should put out music under her
Puma,
because
yeah, Puma can sing.
we ain't gonna never hear Erica do anything else. I guess. Come on,
That's the
Erica.
DLC, her and the DLC's daughter. That little girl has some pipes.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh wow. Yep. Well, that's all I got. And it's been almost 2 hours, so that's our time, right? Normal. Oh no, man. What's your question? You said earlier you was gonna ask us about was it Black History or
Uh,
something?
oh. Yes. So we was talking about slavery earlier. I had a question. Like, so if if slavery existed, I guess, in the sense of the way they say it did, right? Where are the ships?
Mm, true that.
I don't think it did. Do you know how long it would take to sail from
I mean,
Africa?
I'm just,
Like, why
I'm
aren't
just
we
saying,
doing that
like,
anymore?
I'm just saying though, like, where are the ships?
Did they
Like,
break them down and burn them? I'm sure the information is out there.
I mean,
Well,
we had remains of Christopher Columbus's ships and all these different ships, all these people's ships, old World War II ships. We got ships from what I'm saying, like we got all this stuff and yeah,
well,
And what were the name of the ships? And who built those ships? Like,
Santa
because they didn't
Maria.
have the slaves yet to build the ships. Who were the pre-slavery slaves who built the ships?
One of them was in Columbus at the downtown for the longest.
The
Sitting
slave
Nina,
ships.
the Pinta, or the Santa Maria? Was it the Santa Maria? I think
Santa
it was the
But
Santa
Maria,
Maria.
those weren't slave ships though.
And I don't think that
allegedly.
was the real ship. I think it was a replica.
I know, but
But it was down there. I
yeah.
remember.
Right,
Is that why
right, and
they
that's
got
my
rid
point.
of it? Because we thought we
That's my
everybody said it was a slave ship.
Well, they got rid of all of the Christopher Columbus stuff. They got rid
They
of his
took the
statues and
statue.
everything.
Yeah,
yeah, they got rid
that's
of
a
all of
good,
it.
that's a good question. What did
This
happen
was a
to the ship?
murderer.
What did happen to those ships? And what were the name of those ships? Were they pirates? Pretty much,
Who?
in some way, all those slave ship owners and stuff. They pretty much did come in and kidnap
How
and steal.
how does anybody make it back from Africa to the Americas? How do you have enough food for that voyage? How do you like I can't I remember they found a dead body and it was like 4 streets down from us. We lived on 21st. It permeated the entire outside. Now imagine everybody, slave masters included, you on a boat with dead, rotten flesh. Because a lot of the slaves didn't make it back.
Mm.
So did they? How many
They
more
threw them over.
people?
They
How
threw them
many
over the
more
sea.
people? Right, but how many more people would have been on the boat when you consider how many people supposedly made it here from there?
Right.
And what better way to make a person feel like an outsider than to tell them you come from a land far away, than to really let them know that they are the indigenous people of this land?
This is our actual land. Um, and here's something that was funny too. I mean, it was a joke but to go along with that, Paul Mooney said when he was talking about white people, talking in one of his stand-ups before he had passed, he's like, white people, there's no such thing as ghosts. Quit talking about ghosts, and he went through all this little rant about ghosts. And he was like, I'm gonna tell you why there's no ghosts. He's like, because if there were, slaves will haunt the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And,
He's like, there's no such thing as ghosts. Because if there was ghosts, the slaves would come back.
yep,
They would beat y'all's
they
ass.
come back.
He's like, what? Only white ghosts get to come back?
Mm, yeah. Wow.
But
You
yeah,
right.
but
That's
yeah,
the
it's
truth.
like I mean, but it's like, yo, where are these ships that they talked about? Like the ship from the Amistad and all that
They
they talk
have
about
to
in
be
that movie,
someplace though.
if they exist.
Well, we're gonna have to do our research and we'll have to reconvene on Tuesday and bring our information back to the table. This will be our discussion. What did you learn about the slave ships of old?
Mm.
Are you
We
drinking
I'm about to
chocolate
look
milk?
I'm about to look into it. I am drinking a dirty banana.
what in the
What is
world
a
is
dirty
this?
banana?
Dirty banana is a Jamaican drink. It's an island drink. It's um I mean you can make it a couple different ways, but it's more or less like banana, um, some liquor and
Banana,
some
liquor,
chocolate and
chocolate.
a couple other things.
Okay. Interesting.
Some rum.
Yeah, Dirty Banana.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, so 2 homework. Gotta look up Dirty Banana and find out what happened to the slave ships. Check.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it. You like Dirty Banana. Oh, yeah, you like Dirty Banana. They're pretty good.
I'm a fan of
Um.
bananas.
And it's a cold. It's like a frozen drink almost. So it's
Yes,
like,
put it in the Vitamix. Delicioso.
Is it keto friendly?
It's a banana. No,
No,
uh,
I can't have fruit.
off the rip. It's not keto friendly. A
No,
banana is it's a lot of things, but keto friendly is not one of them.
that's
nope,
why I was like,
nope.
oh,
It's
Uh,
banana
my
and
bad.
chocolate.
Get you some Mama Wana. That's keto friendly.
who? What'd you say?
Mama wanna.
Mama Wana.
Oh, Mama Wanna.
Yeah, it's also an island drink. They make it.
Yeah,
It's it's um it's
that was also a club up on Bryce. Mama wanna. They used to have salsa
yeah,
night.
yeah, it's a Dominican. I want to say Dominican. I think is where it derived from, but it's they put like a bunch of just certain type of tree bark or tree wood in the bottle, and
Mm.
then they use like wine and some other spices and things that they put in the bottle to make the
Mm.
drink. And they leave the wood
Bub,
in the
you're
bottle
out because that wine's got sugar.
I don't think it does.
Oh,
Usually it ferments. That it's got to be a fruit base to the wine because what's the flavor of the wine coming from? It's got to be grapes or something.
Possibly, yeah.
So once that wine starts to ferment, that sucrose, that sugar starts to create. But he had some wine called Fit Wine that we found at Whole Foods. It was a Chardonnay. I
Hmm.
think it was a Chardonnay, and it was pretty low in carbs and sugar, and it
mm.
didn't taste half bad.
But remember too, though, this ain't being made in the United States.
Oh,
That's true. They do their fermentation process is much different. That's why French
Yeah,
wine is better for you than our wine.
yeah, and it's not even really. I mean, it doesn't taste like a wine.
Mm.
mm.
You know what I mean? It tastes more like it tastes more like a liquor.
Oh, okay. Well, Dirty Banana. Gonna look it up.
Yes,
Yeah.
dirty
Well,
banana and
y'all
slave
can
ship.
find me on Instagram. Sorry, I'm your sunshine. IMYASUNSHINE. And y'all have a good night. I have to go feed my 975-year-old child in there. So 975-month-old. Look, I'm sleepy. Y'all, thank you for letting me be on the show again. And I will talk to y'all later. I'm out.
It's your boy the Doc. Y'all can find me Instagram at D Ray Beasley or uh, Doc Beasley, the barber surgeon. Um, I think what am I on? I forget what I am on Twitter. I gotta go look. I forget. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's your boy D Ray, Doc Beasley, or the barber surgeon is where you can find me anywhere, everywhere.
At DJ D Poise on all social media. Real simple. Spitfire Save the Matches on all social media. Shout out to Maine the Medicine.
Maine the medicine.
Yo.
Some fire tracks for the people today.
Yes, sir. And we are out.
Oh, and it's Beasley with a Z. Beazley. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy.
Peace.
Yo.